Hello and welcome to tutorial number 4. Today we're going to learn how to load survey data directly from an Excel file. This tutorial is an addendum to the last tutorial where we learned how to load formatted data. And today I'm going to show you how you can load data directly from an Excel file, or actually really any text file or CSV file. They don't need to be formatted as long as you have surveys with a measure depth, inclination, and an azimuth in discrete columns. You can load data directly into the program. If you navigate over to the surveys page, you'll see that where in the last tutorial there's only one loading button, there's now two. There's a load, it says load Excel, CSV, or text files. And so if we click that, and then we navigate over to our file, we'll see down here we have a choice. We can load either Excel files, and this will load both modern Excel files and the older Excel files, which had a different, slightly different prefix. You can also load in text files or comma delimited files, but we're going to start with Excel files. And what you do is you just select your Excel file, and it will then load your Excel file into this window here in the lower half where you can see your Excel file in different columns. And so what you need to do is navigate to find out what file holds your measured depth data, what holds your inclination data, and which one holds your azimuth data. In this case, column 1 holds the measured depth values, column 2 holds the inclination, and column 3 holds the azimuth. So what we do is go up to here under measure depth, pick column 1, under inclination, pick column 2, and azimuth column 3. You now pick the row that you want to begin your data importation from, and so we're going to start at 9200 because that's the first level, or the first row of data. And once you select a row, your data will appear here. So this is the data that's going to be loaded into the program, and I do that so you can see what it looks like to make sure it's correct. And maybe you don't want to start at 9200, in which case you can come down here to, let's say, 9518, select that row, and it changes the values here. So now if you hit load file, it will load data starting at 9518. But we want to start at 9200, so you select 9200 and click load file, and it will load your data into your survey page. However, as you can see in this example, there is something that is not right. And the reason is that loading directly from an Excel file using this method will not bring in the tie-in values. So if we go to the first row at 9200, we can see that our TBD is 0, our vertical section is 0, our northings and eastings are 0, and our dog legs are 0. So if you use this method, you're going to have to manually enter in the tie-in value, which is simple enough to do. You just select the row, edit, and then put in your tie-in values. Hit save, and there you see it does it correctly. The other thing you have to do is put in your vertical section azimuth. You can see here it's 180, which is actually pretty close to what we need. And that's just because the default is always 180. So if you start up a new program, that'll be what it is. In this case, though, the actual direction is 181.5. So you put that in, and there you have your survey data will now match exactly what you got from the directional driller or the MWD. Once you've entered the tie-in value, it's pretty important that when you load in more data that you do not overwrite your tie-in value. Otherwise, you're going to have to reset your tie-in again, and who wants to do that? So for example, here we have a survey data that goes from, starts at 9200 feet where we're near vertical, and it shows a landing profile. So it goes to 10,464 feet, we're at 88.25, we're ready to load in more data. So I'm going to select that same Excel file. I'll load up, hit the load Excel CSV text button, find file, select the file. Now the program should remember, it remembers the columns you used last time, and it even remembers the row that you used. And if we were just to hit if we look at the data, it's starting at 9312, which is past our tie-in value, which means it will not overwrite our tie-in value, which is good. If we select 9200, it is going to override, and we're going to have to re-enter our tie-in. So we want to start at least at 9312. You could start anywhere prior to 10,464 because the program will overwrite anything you add. So if we start at 9803, it will overwrite any data after starting at 9803. Now, one thing I want to show you is that in this example, the data we got from the directional driller has a projection to bit. Now, oftentimes you want to put in the projection to bit, and as long as you understand that when you load in data next time, as long as you select a data point prior to your projection to bit, it will just overwrite that projection to bit. However, you might not want to have the projection to bit, in which case I added a quick little feature. It says delete last row, takes out that last row, and then when you load the file, it will not have that projection to bit. And as you can see, we did not overwrite our tie-in. Our tie-in is still there. So that pretty much sums up how you load data from an Excel file. And just so you know, you can also, using this button, you can also load text files or comma delimited files. So I'll choose a text file. Here we go. Here's the same file as a text file. And as you can see, it loads it up exactly the same way.